Good afternoon and welcome to Paragon Films' presentation on Cold Force, one of our specialty machine films or transit protection films. My name is Adam Lucken and I am the sales representative for the state of Kentucky, and it's great to be working with you this afternoon. Let's get started. So part of Paragon's approach to the marketplace when it comes to stretch film, or again, that transitive protection film, we were focused on savings and sustainability with our technological innovations and our impressive intellectual property portfolio, as well as our state-of-the-art equipment in all three of our facilities. It's important with our manufacturing processes, as well as our resin formulations, that we continually work to find solutions to the problems in the marketplace, whether this be a brand new film to the market or continuing to fix a film that we currently have to make it more accessible to the issues in the market. That's really what we're focused on doing here, is really solving those issues that we see that our clients are having, our end users are having, which brings us to Cold Force, which actually was a solution to a problem out in the industry, specifically the strawberry industry. We noticed that people in the strawberry industry were having issues with their stretch film being able to have a strong enough of a cling to the pallet to prevent tails of film. Cold Force is one of 4 of our specialty films. Of course, as you see there, it's Ultimate Force, Nexus UVI, and Contrast, all part of the specialty films family. And you will be able to see webinars like this on those products either now or in the upcoming weeks, and we hope that you'll be able to join us for those. Cold Force, again, is focused on as a high stretch, high force film engineered for the cold or dusty environments to help prevent film tails from becoming a problem in the warehouses or high bays. These film tails can become an issue when they can damage forklifts as they get inside there or in other equipment such as the turntables. We wanted to also ensure that it had a good wipe down of the film tail. Again, and that's why we made it such a high cling product. So in those cold environments where cling might be hard to find, the Cold Force film is able to cling to itself. It's also able to run on any piece of equipment, whether this be a semi-automatic turntable or fully automatic inline. It will be able to run on both of those products as a machine film. And again, the main focus here being that extremely aggressive cling package and its ability in those cold or dusty environments where the film can have difficulty being able to cling to itself and perform at a high containment. We've really made it so that is no longer an issue, almost made it as a tape as it is, to really ensure that there's that high cling package. And much like the rest of our films, we wanted to ensure a high clarity and make sure that there weren't issues with reading the barcodes and making sure that visibly it was as clear as could be. Here we have our product specifications that range from gauges from 47 to 80 gauge with widths of either 20 to 30 at various lengths and footage as well. This is just to show you that we have made sure that Cold Force can be applied to any sort of situation, whether that be a smaller gauge or a higher gauge, that Cold Force is able to perform at any level for any application. So now we're going to go through a few case studies. These case studies were pulled from all over the US as Paragon has been out in the field. And these all showcase examples of where Cold Force can be applied in the workplace or out in the industries. We're going to start here with a poultry manufacturer. The customer's situation was that they were having temperatures below 25 degrees Fahrenheit using a 45 gauge high performance cast film on a Lantec S300 XT with 200% gears. They were having issues with low force to load, loads were shifting with no cling, tails of film on the end of their pallets, as well as collapsed loads during transit. Our solution here was a cold force 55 gauge with gear changes to a 275%, which resulted in a lower cost per pallet wrapped by 40%, with an increase of containment of 35% immediate and 40% 24 hours later. Here we're going to look at a sausage manufacturer, and they're going to have a similar situation. Their temperature was below 30 degrees Fahrenheit here, and they were using a 70 gauge conventional cast film on a Landtech Q1000 at 200% gears. They were also having issues with low force to load, as well as load shifting and no stretch due to the grip of the rollers, as well as those film tails as we've discussed, and a collapse of loads during transit. Here we suggested a cold force at 55 gauge as before, but with a gear change of 250%. The reason for this change of gear is not because one gear is better or the other. It's more so what is the best solution for that customer. And in this situation, 250% was the best solution. So there's not a difference between the first example and this one. Nonetheless, we're able to lower the cost per pallet wrap by 30% and a force increase of containment of 35% immediate and 40% again 24 hours later. In this third example of a cold storage logistics company, we're looking at a 90 gauge competitor's conventional film against a 71 gauge cold force. We're going to be utilizing the client analysis tool, which is part of our 5-star program, in which we look at the film usage, the on-pallet stretch, containment, and cost per pallet wrapped. As you can see, we are able to reduce that cut and weigh by from 7.4 to 5.3 using cold force, which is 2.1 ounces less film used per wrap, as well as increasing the on-pallet stretch in the process from 145 to 166%. We've also increased containment levels from 7.5 to 10.1, 7.0 to 9.3, and 11.5 to 12.0. The cost per pallet, therefore, was reduced from 59 cents to 49 cents while improving that containment and resulting in a savings of 18%, over $16,000 annually for that company. And also, we were able to save them in sustainability, 66 pounds of CO2 reduced annually. Here we're going to look at the more so the sustainability, which is part of our client analysis tool. It's part of our second page, where we looked at the plastic waste that was reduced, landfill space saved, paper core waste reduced, electricity at 36,000 kilowatts. And I would like to focus also most so on the rolls saved there at 569. Not only were we able, because of this the change in transit protective film of the cold force, not only were we able to reduce the plastic waste due to a lower gauge and also improve the yield, but we were able to reduce the number of rolls used annually due to this longer roll footage that cold force has compared to its competitors, as well as its higher yield, the more that we were able to stretch that film compared to others while still maintaining a higher containment. Overall, we are able to save those CO2 emissions to 921,375 annual pounds of CO2, and overall a great savings. Another way that you can improve your knowledge of stretch film is through the Paragon's 5-star certification training. This covers stretch film basics, from hand film to machine film, the kinds of applications that may be used, machinery, as well as our testing procedures that we use to find our numbers for the client analysis tool. Once you've completed the 4th level of our 5-star program, you'll have access to that client analysis tool, which will give you access to forms like we've seen in the previous example. If you're interested, you are welcome to email Jared Dollar at jad@paragonfilms.com to enroll, or you can contact your local Paragon rep. We are happy to help you get started on that. Again, this client analysis tool provides you the ability to conduct comparisons between films, showing differences in film usage, as well as the on-pallet stretch, sustainability, and cost per pallet racked. You can also find information on www.paragonfilms.com when it comes to the specifications of film, different films that we have, hand film, machine film, specialty film, all of which are available online. And we, as well as our 5-star certification training, can also be found on that website, and we hope that you'll check that out as well. If you have any questions, feel free to ask now. You can ask in the questions bar below, and if there aren't any now, but that you come up with some later, feel free to reach out to any of our regional reps here. You have Alan Abbott down in Alabama and Mississippi, Zach Poole in Georgia. You have myself in Kentucky. Sean Mitchell's available in Ohio, and Carla Thorne covers just about everything else in the Southeast. Whether these questions be about this film, any other sort of film that we have, or if you'd like to order a sample of the Cold Force or any other film, please feel free to reach out to any of those names below. Again, we'd be happy to help. With that, I'd like to say personally thank you for coming out this afternoon and for participating in this webinar. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer. And other than that, we are all good to go. Thank you so much.